Imagine a nation reduced by rubble, divided by its ideology and burdened by guilt. This was Germany in 1945. Yet today, being one of the founder members, it's Europe's economic powerhouse and a driving force behind the European Union. Now, what makes this transformation? How did it happen? And what makes Germany a must visit cultural gem? Hi, my name is Mariam Labauri, and join me as we explore Germany's journey from post war devastation to becoming a symbol of European unity and discover why its cities, traditions, and innovations captivate millions of visitors each year. European Union and its institutions are many times called a political animal. There is no similar entity in the world since European Union is not a federation, it's not a country, not even a state, and well, it's not simply only an international organization either, but it's a sort of specific nature institution itself. Important is that the major aim of the European Union, well, actually of the European Economic Union from the beginning, was to reduce the dependency from the coal and steel in order to avoid further wars. So, the real aim of the creation of the European Union was to achieve the long lasting peace within the form of the economic entity. This is why it's been a very progressive and incremental process itself. When World War II ended in 1945, Germany lay in ruins. Cities like Berlin were bombed into rubble, and the countries were split. At a time when Europe was reeling from the devastating consequences of two world wars, there was a strong desire for lasting peace, and the best way to achieve this goal was through Europe's economic and political cooperation. After the Second World War, desperation for European unity became a reality. The political landscape shifted dramatically when the Soviet Union began pursuing an expansionist policy, gaining control over Eastern European countries, including former East Germany. By 1949, this division hardened into two separate states, the Democratic West Germany and the Communist East Germany. This divide was not just political. It shaped everyday life, from economic opportunities to personal freedoms. The devastating aftermath of the war had weakened the economies of Eastern nations. As part of a defensive strategy, the United States provided financial assistance to these nations, particularly former West Germany, through the Marshall Plan. But Germany's darkest hour also planted the seeds of European unity. In 1950, French Foreign Minister Robert Schuman proposed pulling coal and steel production, the very industries that had fueled wars. The first stage of European economic integration dates back to 1951 with the adoption of the Treaty of Paris, the European Coal and Steel Community Treaty, which was a former part of Schuman Plan. By establishing supranational control over coal and steel production, the treaty limited individual states' capacity to manufacture arms, thereby reducing the likelihood or another war. The treaty was signed in Paris on April 18th of 1951 by France, German, Italy, Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, creating a common market for coal and steel. This became the European Coal and Steel Community with West Germany as a founding member. By 1957, the Treaty of Rome established the European Economic Community, thanks in part to German Chancellor Konrad Adenauer and French President Charles de Gaulle. Their partnership turned historic enemies into the European Union's engine. The mentioned treaty laid the foundation for a common market aimed at fostering balanced economic growth among member states, ensuring sustainable and equitable expansion, strengthening stability, and accelerating improvements in living standards. Alongside, the founding states also signed the treaty establishing the European Atomic Energy Community, Euratom Treaty, which regulated nuclear energy. Both the European Economic Community Treaty and the Euratom Treaty are often collectively referred to as the Treaties of Rome, signed on March 25th of 1957. Based on the treaty establishing the European Economic Community, there were created the European Union institutions, which are the Assembly, Council of the European Union, European Commission, and the Court of Justice of the European Union. Although only the Treaty of Paris and the Treaties of Rome and Maastricht Treaty are discussed in depth today, this is the full list of European Union's founding treaties that you can see right now on the slide. Now, I want you to pay attention to the change of presentation theme and colors, just as Germany itself changes in this period and becomes new, colorful, since this exact time is when its modern era begins. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 reunited Germany, but it also reunited Europe. Chancellor Helmut Kohl and French President Francois Mitterrand saw this as a chance to deepen European Union integration, leading to the Maastricht Treaty, which was signed in February 7th of 1992, and also the euro. The treaty provides that the Union is to develop a special relationship with neighboring countries, aiming to establish an area of prosperity and good neighbor lives founded on the values of the Union and characterized by close and peaceful relations based on cooperation. Today, Germany is the European Union's largest economy and a crisis mediator, whether during the 2008 financial crash or the refugee influx of 2015. While some voices like AfD Party or some individual and political clusters criticize the European Union, polls still clearly show, and I personally also agree with the fact, that the most Germans still support the European project. Beyond politics, Germany dazzles with its culture. Just for a second, picture yourself wandering through Berlin's eclectic neighborhoods where street art covers remnants of the wall, or Munich's Oktoberfest where Lederhosen clad local toasts with stains of beer, a tradition that is dating back in 1810. Foodies can savor Currywurst in Berlin or Spätzle in Bavaria, while history buffs explore Köln's Gothic cathedral or the fairy tale Neuschwanstein Castle. Germany's regional diversity shines in its festivals. Christmas markets glow with handmade crafts and mulled wine, while Carnival turns Köln into a parade of costumes and satire. Design lovers admire Bauhaus architecture, and music fans pilgrimage to Leipzig, where Bach composed his masterpieces. Even the language reflects its richness. Dialects change every few miles. Germany's story is Europe's story, from the horrors of war to the hope of unity. Its commitment to the European Union proves that diversity can be a strength, not a weakness. Whether you're drawn to its history, its vibrant cities, or its warm pretzels, Germany invites you to explore and to see how united in diversity comes to life. Adopted in 2000, the European Union's motto, United in Diversity, expresses the idea that Europeans have joined forces through the European Union to promote peace and prosperity, and all while embracing and being enriched by the continent's wide range of cultures, traditions, and languages. So, what are you waiting for? Pack your bags and lass uns gehen. Thank you very much for your attention.